Welcome, word nerds and trivia buffs. Ever wonder which words captured the essence of each year? Today, we are diving into the word of the year from dictionary.com, covering 2010 to 2025. Let us see how well you remember the last decade and a half. Information is compiled from many sources. If there are any errors, please let me know so I can learn from them. Thank you. What 2010 word captured the global desire for a fresh start after the financial crisis? The answer is change. After a tumultuous end to the 2000s, change was the word that captured the global mood of transformation and the desire for a fresh start. It was a simple word for a complex time. For 2011, what complex word, meaning to change one's loyalties, saw a huge spike in political lookups? And the word is tergiversate. Dictionary.com noted a huge spike in lookups for this word, as people sought a more sophisticated way to describe the political maneuvering and shifting stances happening at the time. It is the fancy way of saying to evade or to desert a cause. Which 2012 word described both the winds of Hurricane Sandy and the rhetoric of the US election? You got it. It is bluster. This word has a dual meaning that fit 2012 like a glove. It refers to both tumultuous, roaring wind like Hurricane Sandy and loud, empty threats like, well, you know, politicians. A perfect storm of a word. What 2013 word became central to global debate after the Edward Snowden surveillance leaks? The word was privacy. Thanks to Edward Snowden's revelations about the PRISM program, the world suddenly became very interested in who was watching them. The line between public and private life became the year's hottest topic. What 2014 word linked the Ebola outbreak, celebrity photo hacks, and major data breaches? It was exposure. This word perfectly captured the year's major events: the risk of exposure to the Ebola virus, the exposure of personal data in hacks, and the media exposure of shocking events. It was the year the world felt laid bare. What 2015 word captured cultural conversations around Caitlyn Jenner and same-sex marriage legalization? The word of the year was identity. 2015 was a year of profound conversations about who we are. The discussions around personal and social identity were so powerful that they made identity the most relevant word of the year. What 2016 word, meaning fear of foreigners, surged during the Brexit vote and the US election? The choice was xenophobia, defined as the fear or hatred of foreigners. Lookups for the word spiked by over 938% around the Brexit vote and continued to trend during the US election, reflecting a rising global anxiety about the other. What 2017 word, meaning involvement in a questionable act, became a cultural buzzword? It is complicit. The year was filled with discussions about who was responsible, even indirectly, for questionable actions in politics and culture. The question, is silence a form of complicity?, was a major theme. What 2018 word described the challenge of false, but not necessarily malicious, information online? The word is misinformation. Dictionary.com specifically chose it over disinformation to highlight that false information is often spread without malicious intent. It served as a reminder for us all to check our sources before sharing. What 2019 word was used to describe high-stakes threats from climate change to gun violence? The word was existential. It captured the widespread feeling of grappling with survival on both a personal and planetary level. Whether it was an existential crisis about climate change or Forky from Toy Story for questioning his purpose, the word was everywhere. What 2020 word saw its search volume increase by over 13,000% and define the year for everyone? Of course, it's pandemic. This word went from being a clinical term to a part of our daily vocabulary almost overnight. It reshaped every aspect of our lives and became the undeniable word of the year. For 2021, what newly added word describes the practice of actively supporting a marginalized group? The word is allyship. It represents the shift from passive support to active, meaningful action on behalf of others. The choice highlighted that it wasn't enough to just be an ally. The real work was in the allyship. What simple 2022 word was at the center of intense cultural and political debate? The word of the year was woman. Searches for the word spiked by more than 1,400% after a U.S. Supreme Court nominee was asked to define it. The choice reflects how the intersection of gender, identity, and language dominated the cultural conversation. What 2023 word gained a new tech meaning for when AI generates false information? It's hallucinate. The word escaped the realm of tripping hippies and entered the world of tech. AI hallucination is when it confidently makes stuff up. This new definition perfectly captured our excitement and anxiety about our new AI friends. What classic word for shy and modest went viral on TikTok in 2024? The word is demure. Thanks to TikToker Jules Lebrun's catchphrase "very demure, very mindful," searches for this word exploded by over 1,200%. It's a fantastic example of how social media can breathe new, sometimes ironic, life into old words. What nonsensical number became a viral slang term on TikTok, defining the word of the year for 2025? And the word is 67, pronounced 67. This term's defining feature is its lack of a clear meaning. It's used to be random, confusing, or just for the meme. The choice reflects the chaotic and often nonsensical nature of internet language today. What a time to be alive! Thank you very much.